And then Ben Johns, the GOAT, is going to be everywhere with all his tricks, including some of these twoies we've seen. This is going to be a lot of fun.
Well, there's the first rally, and the nice defense from Riley Newman to get us started. Unbelievable. No better way to start the men's final than that. Matt Wright and Riley Newman have their hands in the air. They've lost the ball.
Another hour of that, please. It almost hit the camera we have perched up above. It was coming right at it. But, I mean, that is the intensity that these two teams know that they've got to have. The other thing we'll have, Cameron, is at the end of the last time these two played, Collin Johns and Riley Newman were chirping, and I'm talking lots of chatter in between points and when they switch sides. We'll see if some of that happens here in the desert.
Ooh, that is a wicked counter right there from Ben Johns, right at the knees of Riley Newman. All right, so you heard it from Dave Fleming. Watch out for the chatter. Great touch. He tries to catch Ben as he works back to the middle there, but just a little high on the flick.
Yeah, because you know Ben is going to be moving to the right, like some sort of magnet is pulling him that way, but that's just because he wants to impose his will.
And there's the combo from Riley Newman. Loves to speed that ball up middle, slide more middle, and close out.
1-1-2.
Riley Newman, originally out of Washington, now living in Arizona.
Point.
Matt taking a step back, trying to speed that ball up. Looks like maybe something on the court.
Yeah, he just hit a pebble or something well into the, I mean, that's the level of precision that these players can tell that a ball took a bad hop off of a minuscule little pebble, but, or he just missed the shot.
Point.
Another miss there from the Wichita product. He was born and raised in Wichita, Kansas.
3-1-2.
He still resides. He's a corporate attorney, so in case you have some legal needs. I'm Matt Wright.
Side out.
And it's so impressive to watch these men slide left to right, the court coverage that they can have, but it's all a matter of a scouting report as well.
Yeah, they know what's going to come at them, and then they don't want their bodies to be exposed for a body shot like that. You've got to be able to slide. Now, sometimes, like Matt did there, you'll slide into where the ball goes, and that's the counter of the counter to go after. I know you're going to do it, so I'm going to do something a little different.
And that's where we have seen some athletes find success. The off-speed speed up on the backhand side of Ben. It's an area he's been focused on.
Yeah, because Matt loads that up. Where's it going? Number one, and then at what pace? And nice variety from Matt right there. There's the willpower.
Side out.
The willpower of Riley Newman trying to get that ball over the top. Ben and Collin, again, the #1 men's team in the world out of Maryland. He swung at that and still had enough time to get a second shot on it.
Yeah, they got exactly what they wanted, that speed up to the backhand of Johns, but he was able to keep it just close enough to the net where you couldn't attack it.
Yeah, that's the touch of Ben Johns right there.
Second serve.
Trying to take enough pace off.
Yeah, these Johns boys are from Maryland and now have moved to Austin, Texas, where they're hanging out. So a lot of great players in Austin.
There are a lot of great players. Also, another hub is Florida. Several out of Delray Beach area. Naples. Crowd's loving it here on Championship Court. It's so fun to look at this replay because you can see our entire crowd. They're also covering the court just at the baseline and above these athletes as well. sending that well into the sky is Matt Wright. We've seen this from defense too, now just tossing the ball high into the air, trying to force them to score a point with a lob. Third shot gets him there, it nearly gets it done. Wow, what defense.
They had what they wanted at this point, because that ball right there from Wright, and he just didn't have the paddle up in time. Great counter from Ben after all those overheads.
Side out.
Yeah, the other thing I'm going to be watching is Collin John's wrist. We saw him messing with that in the semifinals. I've seen nothing to indicate any issue from him right now. Just something to keep an eye on.
Second
And you
serve.
saw it was his left,
Yes.
correct? Okay. Yeah, so luckily not that right side. I mean, still critical when you're playing pickleball without a doubt, but.
Yeah, he'll hit some two-handed backhand resets and counters, but
Side out.
that's the difference right there. They're going to come at Ben's backhand, be ready for the second ball. Certainly was there.
Riley liked that shot from his partner, Matt Wright. Score remains 2-4.
Second serve.
Riley hitting 2 on one side, 1 on the other. That ball just continues to get lower and lower. It's going to be hard to continue to counter that ball. How did Matt Wright get that back? And another. Matt Wright came to play.
And these are the types of points this team needs to get the crowd behind them, because they will start talking. They'll start calling balls that are 4 feet out, 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 out. You're going to hear a lot of that. It's what drives them to be here and why they've won not a lot of times against this team, but they certainly have beaten them, and they are a force to be reckoned with. They just need that little extra energy to go with it.
Point.
And a missed flick roll from Ben Johns.
4-4-2.
4 apiece now.
Side out.
So keeping things close now are Wright and Newman. We're gonna have to find some defense as the ball changes sides. Serve for the Johns. Beautifully done from Collin Johns, sliding and finishing the point.
And he can do that because Big Brother's huge forehand is sitting there in the middle, so he can slide outside the sideline and just sit backhand.
Second serve.
The margin for error on that shot from Riley Newman is so minute because they're sliding and pressuring that right side.
Yeah, there's 3 inches of room right there, and he found it.
You gotta be absolutely perfect. Slam dunk from Riley Newman. Tweener! Scooped yet again. Beautiful defense, and man, at the hand of Perseus, Ben Johns finishes the point.
Off with Medusa's head. I mean, that's the type of point that Riley and Matt really want to win, because they'd be going bonkers. But we watched that entire point with smiles on our faces as the crowd was oohing and awing. I mean, we knew the level would be great. It has been absolutely fantastic, and that's a good timeout from Wright and Newman right there.
So after a big momentum play and down by 2, time to take a timeout. Well, you're definitely enjoying some of this championship court coverage, because this men's final is going to be a good one. It already is. Just 2 points of difference between Ben Johns, Collin Johns, Riley Newman, and Matt Wright in this men's gold medal match. At that's how the game started as well. A wild firefight. Now a 3-point advantage for the Johns.
Yeah, there's no way for Newman to take that ball back cross court in that amount of time. So that's why Collin can continue to slide, and it puts the ball on his little brother's paddle.
I have no idea how Collin just got that ball back. He somehow slid his paddle from the left side of his body to the right side and still hit a backhand.
He knows how to grip the ball to be able to leave the paddle face open to give it a chance, and it was absolute perfection.
Starting to get away from Matt Wright and Riley Newman. It is now 9-4.
And it's not accidental with Collin Johns. He has a library of every shot, every player. I mean, his mental capabilities are as good as anybody. So that is the thing you run into with these two, what they can do with the paddle and what they can do with their mind.
Side out.
Squashing that forehand.
Yeah, Matt Wright, net cord specialist here in game number one.
He's had like 6 of them.
Yeah, he keeps saving them.
Like if I tried to chase one of those down, I might pull another disc.
Yeah,
Pull my back.
people usually panic with that, and he is certainly not, or they have to go to the chiropractor like Cameron.
Yeah, exactly. Some steady thinking now.
Point.
That was interesting. Again, the off speed at different times, it can catch you off guard. You can be early, you can be late, and all of a sudden you're not finding the right side of your paddle.
Yeah, you don't see Ben misread a ball very often. He certainly did there.
A lot of lateral movement there from Riley Newman. Showing his quick feet.
Second serve.
I mean, that was a gorgeous shot from Matt Wright, but an even better recovery from Ben Johns.
Well, he wants you to go there. And it seems like it's open, but he wants you to go there, and then he knows where the ball after that's going to go, and he finishes. That's why it's so frustrating. And that's why he's the best player in the world.
Side out.
Another side out. So this time, Ben and Collin up 4 points, 9-5.
9-5-1.
Very well done, Collin Johns. Again, the ability for these athletes now to slide the ball off the edge of their paddles as a finishing move. Take a look at this last one from Collin Johns. You'll get a look, hopefully, on this replay.
It's coming. There it is.
There it is. Swiping that ball. It's game point.
Second serve.
An ambitious reach there from Ben Johns. You got some room, you might as well test the waters.
Yeah, he's trying to bring that back across Matt Wright's body and tag him or get him in a weird position, unable to get it.
Point game.
Oh, no.
So game number one going to the Johns brothers, Ben and Collin, 11-5. They had a pretty gnarly semifinal to come into this, but they look like they have found their true form here in the gold medal match. The Hyunda PPA Tour, a great group that travel around, is also our officiating crew. We're going to give a shout out to our current crew, Mark Thomas, Michael Kunkis, Norman Velgunt, and James Koo, currently working this men's final. Now time to get game two underway.
Point.
Yeah, we saw a couple of misses from Matt Wright to start game number one, and then he got it going, and there was all that fire, and in the middle of that match, it was as good as it gets, and then some errors crept back in.
Point.
And then Ben Johns crept back in.
I don't know if Ben Johns creeps. I think he just comes in full flying. You got to watch out for him.
Side out.
There's Riley Newman.
0-2-1.
Riley, a tennis and basketball player at Seattle University in Washington.
Second serve.
Yeah, just the focus and intensity from the Johns brothers in this match is going to be hard to overcome. It certainly happened, but they got to get going.
Feels like some of those big rallies we had in game number 1, if those start to go your direction, that's a huge momentum shifter.
For sure. Especially when that is the fuel for Wright and Newman.
Newman continuing to work with that two-hand backhand. Reset the ball up, but that's just enough air underneath of it for Johns to attack.
Yeah, and a perfect spot gets Matt Wright reaching.
Second serve.
Okay, a little pep in the step of Wright and Newman there after that miss.
2-1-2.
And a miscommunication, and they get a little lucky with the net cord there. Wasn't necessarily how they drew it up, but it works in their favor.
They were 1% chance to win that point until that went off the tape there. That's a clean winner into 10 feet of open court. Sometimes a little lady luck never hurt anything.
1-2-1.
You'll take it. 1-2 is the score.
Point.
Nice play from Riley Newman. So much fun comes with this sport, and especially with its growth. Riley Newman has a flight out to Australia this evening out of LA, where he's going to be doing some pickleball work as well. Teaching the Aussies how to play.
Point.
Ball just long, so 2-2.
3-2-1.
Excuse me, 3-2.
Second serve.
Oh, and the shoulders, it was like his whole body collapse there. You don't want to miss a third when you're on a run and you have a little pressure on the other team. Oh my, 2 in a row. So that's tough. And you know, we'll look back on game 2. Was this a turning point or not?
2-3-1.
No, that's a great point by you. And actually just came up back-to-back times, to your point.
Second serve.
Still staying steady, though.
Yeah, and Riley has just now decided to just fire at Collin Johns. If somebody's always resetting, keep going there. Make them counter.
Playing with the middle now. Just keeps going, and that again is one of those extended rallies. I mean, you've got to go hats off to the Johns brothers. They play defense, get back to neutral, and then they find an opportunity like this to turn the tables.
Yeah, and all of that isn't possible without the Collin Johns reset clinic in the middle of that. Just ridiculous, under siege, and keeps putting the ball in a safe place.
Side out.
That time he actually chose to sort of half counter it, and that actually was not the right choice there. Needed to be able to get a full slap at something. So, okay, tied up.
Point.
Missed return. Rare from Ben Johns.
Yeah, a couple misses here. Missed roll volley earlier was one of the points. So, Wright and Newman will happily accept.
Point.
That's a big-time play from Riley Newman. It looked like he was actually going to be running for the forehand poach. He stays, covers the line.
5-3-1. Second serve.
That time Collin Johns is sitting forehand. He's like, go ahead, bring that to me, and smacks it and sets up baby brother for the winner.
And there it is again. Riley Newman starting to feel it.
And they're starting to feel louder, too, to all of our ears. And that is good news for Wright and Newman.
Oh, Matt Wright coming in with the backhand punch. It's now 7-3.
Yeah, and the Johns brothers are not a team that likes to take timeouts. So
No.
I don't think you'll see it unless it gets dire here.
Side out.
And the reason for that is they want to keep playing. They don't want to give you any thought that you have done something to us. We'll be just fine.
3-7-1.
Fantastic confidence, well earned too on the side of the Johns brothers.
Second serve.
Another clean winner volley from Matt Wright.
Well, and it's interesting. It's almost as if the drives keep coming to Matt and Riley, but they continue to have great timing on their fourths.
Point.
Nice shot from Ben as Riley continues to create middle.
Yeah, so he's got the paddle on the right side of his body. So watch how he's got to like
4-7-2.
change on one and then just can't get over there the second time.
Just the steadiness of Collin Johns in the middle of that. He just looks like he's standing flat-footed, but the resets continue to be beautiful. That's the one right there.
7-4-1.
Just wild work, even though this goes to Newman and Wright.
Point.
Tries to counter both of those.
And there's some of those louder, no, that's out all day. Here comes the chirping.
Trying to find the ball right now. I mentioned that there was a pretty fantastic matchup for the Johns brothers in the quarterfinals. They faced off
8-4-1.
against Johnson and Frazier. That went all 3 games to its conclusion.
Second serve.
And you can just continue. You start to see the patterns take shape, especially in those firefights. The direction of the ball and who's able to redirect really determines the winner there.
Yeah, Collin Johns
8-4-2.
again sliding and being able to get on top of it. That was a big shot for them in winning game number 1. He's been more resetting here in game 2. That's why they're down. And then Matt Wright back through the middle, and now he's urging the crowd to come along for the ride.
I'm surprised this hasn't happened earlier. I thought these two were going to start getting the crowd on their side from about the start of game 2. And another. Yeah, see, there's some more chatter. You knew it was coming.
10-4-2.
Crowd's like the 12th man.
Hello, Seattle.
It's game 2.
Side out.
And not quite so fast. So 4-10, they've put themselves in a very good position. They've got to earn 2 balls back, though.
Second serve.
I mean, that's what Matt Wright, you want to put a ball in my forehand, I'm speeding it up to Ben's backhand, and then I'm coming at him again, and then Riley's going to step in, much like we've seen Ben step in next to Collin. Riley does it there.
There's the pace of Ben Johns flying in.
5-10-2.
It's now 5-10. Corner pocket, Riley Newman.
I mean, that is why they paint the corner, because that is exactly what he did. He painted the corner. Just show it to him.
10-5-1.
Love this side angle view of what Riley Newman's doing.
Game point for Newman and Wright.
Point.
And there it is, game 2, a little chest bump to his partner, Matt Wright. 11-5. So exactly the opposite of game number 1. 11-5 to the Johns, and then 11-5 to Newman and Wright. We'll be back with game 3. Got to finish up our men's final here from the Hyundai Masters of the Carvana PPA Tour. The first stop in 2023. 25 total stops, and I wouldn't be shocked. There's probably going to be an extra 2 or 3 thrown in there. Why not?
Come play where the pros play, and these pros are playing. Wright and Newman sped it up a little more at Collin Johns, and then going after that Ben Johns backhand. It worked. We'll see what happens in game 3.
If you're just joining us, this is the men's final. Game 3 starting right now. Winner take all at this point. It's a race to 11. Must win by 2. Calling Ben Johns on the near side of your screen.
Nice, Riley.
That's Riley Newman with that wicked backhand.
Yeah, and the other interesting thing is that Newman and Ben Johns will face each other in the mixed final as well. So a lot of bragging rights on the line here this afternoon.
Without a doubt, Ben Johns with a shot to find a triple crown. As does Annalie Waters. Ooh, twinkle toes, Collin Johns. Just enough space for the Ernie.
And just a dainty little touch there, just keeping it in the kitchen. Well done.
Point. 1-0-2. Side out.
So this is really coming down to who can dictate. So Ben Johns take a high third and just crack it right down the middle. Which side will be able to impose their will?
Ben Johns looking to impose his will there as he misses that just wide of the court. And to your point, you're 100% right. Game 2, it felt as if Matt and Riley started to take the ball off the bounce, speed up a little bit more frequently, and we're winning more of those firefights. And Collin Johns just held his ground, but that last one proved to be a little too much of a challenge.
So they're going to the outsides. They know that Collin is sliding. They know that Ben's backhand's where they want to go, and it's working.
Second serve.
Hard to time that big windup from Ben Johns.
Saw the Cobra ready to strike up there.
1-0-2.
Look at that.
Ben on the move.
Point.
I love that. They dinked about 3 different locations before the speed up, so they're showing him all different kinds of looks.
Yeah, and then Matt's like, the minute I get a ball I like, I know where it's going. He knows where it's going, but I'm okay with that.
There is Riley Newman. Jump in the corner.
Yeah, and the fourths need to be better from the Johns brothers, as a passive ball like that just can't happen. That was actually a sixth.
There's the net court everyone loves. And another one. Couldn't put enough sauce on that one to get it over.
Yeah, only the Johns brothers like that next one. Packed in around the court back there. Love it.
Amazing.
Point.
And again, Ben Johns finding an opportunity out of the middle of the court. Just that right shoulder of Riley Newman. It's tough for him to cover.
So that time it was Matt Wright speeding it off the backhand, easier for Ben Johns to handle.
And that actually is set up from a fantastic dink. When you pressure somebody on a dink, that pop-up, you better watch out.
Yeah, you set yourself up and everybody's like, okay, dink with a purpose, what does that mean? Well, that's what it means right there.
Point.
And there are definitely different ways that you can dink with a purpose. It's not just pace, it's location, it's spin, and it's a scouting report on the other side of the net.
Absolutely, and variety, and then where are the targets? Where's safety?
Second serve.
Mentioned some of the targets right now for Newman and Wright on the exterior of the court.
Yeah, in the air when they're attacking, for sure.
Side out.
The fourth, such an important play in this game, especially at this level with how dangerous the third ball is, especially those hybrids coming in now, the drop shots. That fourth has to be just about perfect.
Yes, it does. Or you're welcoming trouble, and you're the team that's allegedly in control because you're returning, and they have to let that bounce.
4-3-1.
4-3. Uh-oh.
Okay.
Matt Wright is walking away to the baseline, looking over his shoulder.
And screaming, come on. They're hearing them all the way at the ocean. We're not near the ocean.
Few hours. Crafty from Matt Wright.
And then he changed his pattern, and that's the discipline you need. When the ball's on that side, Collin Johnson's just sitting there on his two-y. Just go ahead. If you speed it up, I'm going to punish you. Matt has not been doing that, and sometimes you just get worked up in the moment. Can't do it.
Taking one out of the air. Right now, mostly just short hopping. Oh my goodness. What play from Matt Wright. That's the second time we've seen him reach all the way to his left on the forehand and find that just filthy ball.
And that's really smart by him of knowing where the reply from Ben Johns off the forehand is going to be. He's got the next shot ready. And maybe that carbon face has given him a little more spin to try that sliding inside out ball that gives him a ball to go. So it's that one, then the speed up, then the counter, then the finish. That's how far ahead these guys are looking.
It's hard enough for me to keep track even now. I'm like, they're thinking 4 balls in advance at this point. Just absolutely wild as it's now the change of ends, 6-3. And again, at the top of the hour, we've got TC Live coming from the Australian Open. You're not going to want to miss that. But for now, we focus in on the men's final after the change of ends. We're playing 2 out of 3, so that's how we find ourselves inching towards a championship point here. They switch sides. Sun not as much of a factor now on one side of the net as it is pretty much completely overcast. It's nice pickleball weather, though.
Perfect.
And he just continues to bring the hammer.
Yeah, and that time, Matt Wright tried to be cute and slide a ball down the sideline, and that's not going to work.
Second serve.
And just a couple of sloppy points there, some missed thirds in the second game. We saw missed returns. This team is on fire across from you. You got to make everything. Wow, there it is again.
Again, they did have just a little bit of a struggle, and rightly so, against a very formidable team in Dylan Frazier and J.W. Johnson, and they found a way to win. So even when things aren't working in your favor, the greatest athletes can figure it out. And these two do on a regular basis, but right now they are up against a formidable front, and Wright and Newman.
Wow, and that is just an ugly possession by Wright and Newman there. A missed fifth and then a third, like 4 squares up from the bottom of the net. That's how you're letting them get off the hook for them missing a couple of thirds. So we'll see if that pays big dividends for the Johns brothers.
Well, and there's the first strike. 4-6 now. Did a little bit of a around the horn there after the change of ends. I don't know how that didn't hit Collin. He got out of the way.
Yeah, and again, we talked about maybe 3 inches of room if you're going to go down that sideline. Now, he was remarkable in hitting that precise of a target in game 2. The margin is so slight that if you're not right on it, he'll either swat it or let it go. That one was weird off the tape, too, it looked like. So, nice matrix move by Neo Collin Johns there.
So 5-6, they earn 2 back. Now trailing by 1, and again, the greatest athletes figure it out when things maybe aren't going their way. Maybe some of their touches just slightly off, but these two, you can never let your foot off the gas pedal if you're facing them.
No, that's why that last time they had the ball back after a couple of Ben Johns misses, you want that in his head.
So right now, they're already back out on the court, ready to go.
Time in. 5-6-1.
Big swing and a miss from Riley Newman, and Cameron, we're knotted.
6-6-1.
They just don't go away. Cuffing that ball back, both Johns and Newman. A little bit of a different wrist angle. That time he rolls.
Point.
Oh, Ben Johns reaching just about as far as his body would let him go for the flick.
Again, the table tennis
7-6-1.
background, being able to be used to that type of a swing. And guess who has the lead, the top seed?
Point.
The score was 3-6 at the change of ends, and all of a sudden it's now 8-6, the opposite direction. The run for the Johns brothers just continues, and it's still first serve.
Point.
There was some extra pace on that ball from Ben Johns.
Again, a very sloppy fourth right there, and it's just hammered.
9-6-1.
9-6 first serve.
Second serve.
And then finally, a little bit more patience on the side of Wright and Newman.
Yeah, I mean, Matt had to wait till he got a ball that he could bring, and, you know,
9-6-2.
these players are willing to pull the trigger. They don't get too tight and not do what got them here.
Side out.
Nice shot. You hear it from Riley Newman and Matt Wright. So much needed side out. That was a 6-point
6-9-1.
run for the Johns. Oh man, and Ben Johns will just toy with you when he's working that inside out.
Yeah, you just don't know where that's going because he can fire that down the middle as well. That's why everything coming from the same place is so good for him.
And a good reach, another ball for Ben Johns. The flick, that wrist is a thing of danger.
Yeah, because Collin Johns did not slide into the middle to cover that. We saw a couple of those get through and stay in game two. They look over their shoulders like, yay, we let it go on purpose.
And the ATP around the post, Ben Johns using every inch of court. And again, coming up, we'll have TC live from the Australian Open at the conclusion of this match. Match ball. Ben and Collin.
Second serve.
Not so fast.
What a clutch shot there, and having that grip where he's got that paddle squared up, able to wipe it across the front of his body and save one.
Yes.
But there's another one coming right here.
Another match point opportunity for Ben and Collin Johns. Quiet paddles all around. Staying patient are Newman and Wright. Got the longest dink rally we've had. They're waiting for them, baiting them to take a shot. And then finally, the patience for Ben and Collin Johns. 11-6 in the third. They are your Masters champions.
Yeah, they know dinking in the middle is safe because it's not going to get a speed up, and Matt Wright decides to run around and just can't get the body there. And after switching sides, they didn't give up a single point after that. They win 8 in a row, Cameron.
So Ben Johns and Collin Johns, you saw the fist in the air for Collin. They played tough. Some of the points didn't look like they were at true form for Ben and Collin, but ultimately they still found themselves in a fantastic position. They played just well enough to beat Matt Wright and Riley Newman in 3 games. Big hugs for Ben Johns, to his sister, and of course our sideline reporter, Hannah John. She's getting ready for the postgame. She's thrilled for both of her brothers.
Yeah, only baby brother carries her.
All right, let's see if we can get all of the Johns ready to go. All right, Hannah, take it away.
Well, welcome back to Championship Court. Ben Johns, Collin Johns, you guys have clasped the title here at the Hyundai Masters, and what a final game 3, down 3-6 in that final game. How did you come back all the way to take it?
Well, I guess that side turned out to be the better side. There were a lot of ebbs and flows in that match, and some of them were not really explainable to any one thing. I think that they're just a team that can catch fire, and you got to weather the storm, and that proved to help us through in that 3rd game.
Well, this is a matchup we've seen time and time again all through 2022, but the talent is only getting better and better. How much longer are we going to see this same championship Sunday look?
I have no idea, but obviously we played those guys a ton last year, and I think every final was enjoyable. And I think rivalries are great for the sport, so very welcoming to new people and new matchups and all that. That's exciting as well, but love seeing those guys in the final too.
Well, guys, a lot of people are talking about how the sport is evolving. We're seeing it really speed up and get aggressive. What is your take on that?
Certainly it's getting faster. I think the average shots from a couple years ago is definitely lower. So people speed up the ball sooner. Certainly patience is a virtue in our game still, but I feel like it's going more in that aggressive nature.
Well, with that, we're going to be able to present your trophy now. Dan Hewitson from Invited is going to come on court now to present your trophy along with Ches Gibson. Thanks, guys. Ches.
Yep. On behalf of Hyundai and Invited Clubs, we'd like to present you with this trophy and just congratulate you on an absolutely fabulous tournament. Good job, gentlemen.
Hoist that trophy, guys.
So your men's doubles champions to start out 2023, Ben and Collin Johns hoisting their glass trophy, much earned here at Mission Hills Country Club.
So the beauty of what we just saw there, Cameron, is what adversity does for you and what adversity earlier in the day does for you. We saw them in huge trouble in the match before this against Dylan Frazier and J.W. Johnson, and having been in that fight and been in that cauldron and know we're fine. They don't call timeout unless it's dire. We know what we need to do. We go back to the basics. They knew even on that last point, if we dink middle, we're fine all day. Let them try and speed it up. They got the error. When Riley and Matt went to the right choices, and those are such small targets, that's what got the rampage. You heard Collin Johns talk about the fact that sometimes the team gets hot and you just got to deal with that. They're talented players, but that's why they're champions. And I know Ben wants a triple crown coming out the gate. He's got one of the 3 spots. He's got 2 more to play later today.